Hi, today we're going to cover probably what is a little bit of a controversial topic, standardized tests. These are the tests that we just love to hate. But did you know that they've been part of the education system since about the 1800s? And it was in the early 2000s that they were mandated here in the US. Now, different countries have different ways of doing them. They're not all just multiple choice and sort of graded by a computer. Some countries have short answer and essay based and show you mathematical working. But people complain that maybe they're subjective based on who is actually grading them if it's not a computer. And then, some countries don't have them at all. Now, I've been doing a bit of research. I wanted to see what were the pros and cons of standardized tests and were there any studies out there on them, and there really were. And so I've got a short list of some pros and some cons, and I'm going to read them to you because I want to make sure that I quote them correctly. And you will probably see my bias and where I lean towards things on the standardized test, and that's okay because this is my vlog. Here are some pros. Teaching to the test can be a good thing because it focuses on essential content and skills, eliminates time-wasting activities that produce learning gains, and motivates students to excel. Most parents approve of standardized tests. Testing is not too stressful for the student. The multiple-choice format used on standardized tests produces accurate information necessary to assess and improve American schools. Stricter standards and increased testing are better preparing school students for college. Now that was just part of quite a long list of pros. Here are the cons. Standardized testing has not improved student achievement and are an unreliable measure of student performance. Teaching to the test is replacing good teaching practices with kill and drill rote learning. Instruction time is being consumed by monotonous test preparation. Testing is expensive and costs have increased, placing a burden on state education budgets. It is a billion-dollar industry. Excessive testing may teach children to be good at taking tests, but does not prepare them for productive adult lives. Standardized tests are an imprecise measure of teacher performance, yet they are used to reward and punish teachers. Again, just a few from quite a long list of the cons. And you probably picked up, I'm not a huge fan of standardized tests. Do we do them at my school? Absolutely. We have some grades that are mandated that they need to do them. And I generally make them optional for the other students, though because we are a new school, I do encourage that all students do them unless the parents opt them out, because I'm not going to force anybody to do them. But the one that we do is we choose to do a skills-based one because I think that that's more of a measure of where the student's at. Can we gauge their reading comprehension and on those different things rather than just being purely content-driven where we're trying to cram a lot of information in and then, they're just it all out, and are they really learning? If we didn't have to do them, I would so not be doing standardized tests. I don't think that it is a great gauge for our students. I much prefer sort of informal assessment as well, letting students talk back to us. But, we do them, and we do allow some of the accommodations that students need of having them being read to them, or maybe they can give the answer and then a capable adult will mark them down. But, they're done. They're done in schools most often every year. And, we do watch our students get stressed about them. We don't put that pressure on our kids, and I don't believe in putting that pressure. I'm like, just get in there and do the best that you can. Just take that time, relax. It's okay. A number doesn't define you. And so these tests, they will not define you. But I encourage you, no matter what you think about them, for them or against them, go out and look at some of that research. Some of it will make you laugh. Some of it's actually really good. So standardized tests, I'm not a big fan, but I leave it up to you with what you think. When we think about exercise balls, we often think about Pilates or, maybe for us mamas, we think about birthing balls. But, these balls are not just for Pilates and birthing anymore. They are actually a great alternative to a chair for children. I want to show this picture. I love it. This is a classroom where the children are using exercise balls as seats. I think that is absolutely fantastic. These have been something that I've incorporated into the classroom before. Maybe not for every student. I definitely had one child that could make any chair squeak. Nobody else could make it squeak, but he could. But he was a child that really needed that movement. And that's where the exercise ball came in, and where it's great because it allows sort of these subtle movements that they can go on that, remember, some of our kids need movement to help them focus. And so these balls are great for that. They're much better for balance and for posture. And by allowing this bit of movement, it actually helps with concentration. Now, the great thing as well is that we've got these new ones called the Sit and Gym. And so they actually have little feet on them, so they might be a little bit more stable for our younger ones, and they're not necessarily going to roll away as quickly. But this might be something that you could incorporate for your child for homework time, even maybe watching television or family activities, because this ball is going to help with focus. It is going to help to keep their body and that subtle movement that is going to allow that focus. So think about exercise balls instead of chairs, not just for your child, but also for yourself. I got a couple of questions from a friend, Becca, and I'm actually going to split it over this week and another vlog. And her question really is, how do you know the learning styles of preschool age children? Because that's the age group that she's working with, and this might help parents of preschool children. Really, what you want to do is observe the children. You want to observe what they're looking at. Do they want more active activities, or are they more drawn to quiet things? Are they happy to sit there and look at pictures, or do they want to hear the story being read to them? When it comes to instructions, are they able to follow the verbal instructions well, or do they maybe need picture instructions? Remember, it's preschool age. And so by looking at what they are doing and how they're doing it, that's going to give you an idea of probably what their learning style is. And again, you want to incorporate lots of different activities of the different learning styles, because at preschool, learning is done through play, and that is what's important. I don't believe in formal sit down, this is how you learn education at a preschool level. I believe in lots of activity and games and crafts and the informal learning, especially through play. Thank you so much for watching us today. Don't forget to like us, leave a comment, share the video, spread the word about Learning Life. Send us your questions or your comments. Well, today's question that I would love to get your input in is about standardized testing. How did it impact your life? And that can be both for the good and for the bad.